Being passionate about Mercedes-Benz is not a very hard task, especially with cars like the SLS or all the AMG models. Yet, there is another aspect that deserves full attention, namely all the old cars. What happens to them, because they have shaped the brand that we know today. But there is a place in Irvine, California, the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center, where these cars really are being taken care of. What is the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center?
Well, it is about passion, exactly what you said. It's really about the cars and the people that drive them, and we're really excited that we have a lot of customers that love these cars and they want to keep them on the road, and we're here to support them to do that.
So I see as soon as you enter the garage here, a unique specimen really hits the eye. It looks very unusual. Tell us a little bit more.
It is a 1955 190 SL, a very early chassis number, the 29th car made overall of any 190 SL. And the car was modified in later years to look like the SLR version, which they only made a handful of. So it is not an original SLR, but it was changed to look like an SLR. And a lot of people say, oh, you changed the body. We didn't change the body really at all. Just the doors are a bit different, but you have no bumpers, no windows, and it looks entirely different.
So if you were looking for a one-of-a-kind Mercedes, that might be something, huh?
This is it, and this is what I would really categorize as just for fun.
Okay, excellent. So I understand the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center also buys cars and restores them, right?
We do. We actively look for cars. We love original cars that have not been touched. Sometimes we find a car that has not been restored. We're standing in front of one today. We know that when we take this car apart, everything is as the factory put it together, new, and it's a good basis for restoring.
Okay. I love the little sign inside. It says made in Western Germany. Yeah. So really, really historic.
A different era for sure. This is from 1957. And in fact, if you were to look at this car and you say, well, what does a car like this cost? And say it's very run down, it's not perfect. This was still a $500,000 car the way it is right now.
Wow. So after all the work, when it's, well, as shiny as some of the other here, what would be your realistic price?
Close to $1 million.
Wow.
Yep.
Obviously, repairing a car has to come in increments, and this is pretty much stage one, right?
Very much stage one. After the car came apart, we're standing in front of a frame for a 300 SL gullwing.
Okay, and it's hard to believe, but that will eventually become that.
That'll be married with that again someday after we do all the body work. The car was heavily damaged in an accident at some point in its life, and now we'll fix everything so that it looks like new again.
Okay. And let's have a look at the third stage. So obviously one can really follow the whole evolution of work here, and I see stage 3 here.
Yeah, this is a car that's coming together again, and in fact we just painted the car, so it's being assembled for completion.
And the engine is already
Engine has been rebuilt, everything is done. It's a little bit dusty from the paint process, but that'll be cleaned up before we deliver it to the customer.
Okay. Well, let's have a look at the finished, pretty much the finished product up here. After months of hard work, this is the final quality control and putting everything together and just checking it. And this is a pretty fine example of good work, huh?
This is a very good car, and this car is now in its final stages where we go through the car, test drive the car, use the car a bit, and make sure that everything's 100%.
Well, I'm pretty sure the owner is going to be very, very satisfied. It looks absolutely mint.
This is a 1961 300 Adenauer, and this car came to us for a repair job. The customer brought the car in and he asked us to fix the car. We made an estimate for the car, and he discussed it with us, and we said we wouldn't do it because it's a very rundown car. It's very expensive to fix this. And he said, no, I kind of liken this to a home I own. It's a very old home, and I feel responsible for the home. So not only do I want to do the repair, I would like to restore the entire car. And we wrote an estimate for that for $450,000, and he's restoring the entire car.
Well, that's definitely true passion and true love. It seems like it's more of a family member than a vehicle that you keep in the garage.
Totally, totally. That's how people often consider these cars, and they relate them to points in their lives, and that's often what drives the business. They remember an aunt, an uncle, a father who had one, and they want to relive that to some extent through the car.
Now looking at this 300 SL, obviously it looks a little bit newer, and I see you've taken it apart. If I understand right, Mercedes also has pretty much all the spare parts for these classic cars.
Mercedes has always been very good with that, really from the beginning of the automotive age. You have to think about it. You can get parts from the early 1900s for cars. So for a car like this, the 300 SL, to restore such a car, many of the parts, you can just order them like any other new part, and it's available and it's delivered in a few days.
And if something is missing, do you still manufacture similar parts?
We do manufacture it. They were very good about keeping the engineering drawings for these cars. So if there is a part that needs to be produced and we don't have the part, or it's not in the parts stream, we can manufacture the part according to the original diagram.
I'm really impressed by the way the brand Mercedes-Benz takes care of its, well, let's call it offspring. And my greatest wish now would be to take this 300 SL and drive off into the Californian sunset. Well, unfortunately, this car is a little bit too expensive, but don't despair. I think I have a pretty good alternative. Well, I think you catch my drift. I don't think this is a bad surrogate.